day after day. Christopher Wray, you shouldn't have hidden the information about the sex trafficking case pertaining to me and my children.
Sure. I do, but I have to say what I'm particularly shocked about, in addition to the findings in this report, is how a huge and unforced error this is for Chris Wray. I mean, this is an FBI director presided over an agency that has been the topic of discussion by the Republican Party and completely politicizing going after the FBI, and to give them this kind of ammunition on an issue that really no Democrat or Republican can ever side with the FBI on when children are being harmed. It's just a huge unforced error. It's a huge miscalculation at a time when his agency's embattled and potentially facing an administration going back to Donald Trump that will try to dismantle the FBI. So I don't understand where Chris Wray's head was in all of this.
Christopher Wray and I spoke at length, 2 hours and approximately 45 minutes, October 4th, 2023, in regards to sex trafficking from 2006-2007, starting in Vermont, leading back, and 2002, about the cocaine and everything. The charges against Donnie LeBlond, who raped me, beat me, and left me for the dead in Livermore Falls. Isn't that correct? All that paperwork disappeared out of Aroostook County after he was indicted. Where's my dog, Christopher Wray? Tell your wife, Helen, how you know me. Troy Morton's friends with Christopher Wray. Where's my dog? I live in your county. Lawsuiting. Penobscot County and everybody involved. 400 Oliver Hill Road, Garland, Maine. 04939. Follow me for more information. I'll tell you everything I know about these dirty cops. This is my land. You violated me way too many fucking times. Now, why don't you come up with those missing emails, Laurie? By the way, I got a report from the Records Department of Penobscot County that on July 2nd, 2024, Laurie from the town office in Garland, Maine, allegedly called in and said that I was on my property. Well, what the fuck is it to you? Who are you to be talking about me? Okay, why don't you mind your own fucking business? Again, lawsuited. New Hampshire cops involved in sex trafficking. Isn't that the correct thing? Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I've already been in touch with Bethlehem PD and the town administration. Lawsuited. I'm telling you, all these cops, Greenland, New Hampshire, lawsuited. Now, Christopher Wray, why don't you tell everybody about that paperwork that's visually opened up in the bag, okay? And it came up missing, most of it did, anyway. And where's my vehicle? This is all after I reported to you and you gave me a case number for sexual exploitation and assault, 992-489-BS. You even told me I had a friend, and I said, yeah, and Jesus, not you. Isn't that right, Christopher? I'm going to ask everybody that watches this, forward it on to Fox Channel News, and ask them why Christopher Wray didn't do anything about the sexual trafficking, drug trafficking, and human trafficking reported to all the police and politicians, as well as hand-delivered to him August 9th of 2023. We discussed William Asher, too, didn't we, Christopher? After we discussed it, I got beat up. Isn't that right, Christopher? Set up through Frederick Police Department and Frederick County Sheriff Chuck Jenkins. And that was after he confirmed with me in and by email that he had assigned a detective. He lured me. He wanted me to meet with his off-duty or plainclothes deputies. So what happened? How did I get that black eye? Sheriff Chuck Jenkins, Frederick, Maryland. Again, Christopher Wray, why'd you hide the information about sexual assault and trafficking? I bet nobody has the balls of the vagina to call up and ask Christopher Wray how many trips he made to Epstein's Island. Or call the news and ask them if they can find out. Predators and pedophiles, Anson, Maine. It's no wonder they get away with it. Look at the judge. Leading to the lawsuits. What happened to the lawsuits that I filed? Why'd they get dismissed? Where did my mail go? It's not because I was a liar, right? You would want to face me if I was lying, wouldn't you? But instead, you're always trying to silence and suppress the information, as well as the people, right? Why is it this is the only face that I see a female getting exposed for illegal growing of marijuana? You can put out a reward for a fish gill, but you can't put out a reward for a missing person? Seems to be that if the police weren't involved in the disappearances, there may be a reward, and people wouldn't go missing.
And they've doubled the reward.
Was he trained? Kudos. More killers, rapists, and druggies. At a commission. I don't feel bad about it. I see it as a blessing that the drivers for the trucks, the bus drivers, the ones that have scary pasts, they don't belong behind the road, the wheel, or anything, as far as I'm concerned. And another good question would be, why are these people out on the road anyway? Why are these people being housed anyway? God's good, isn't he?
That Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Gov. Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. And annotated, Congress.gov. Third Amendment. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house, without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. And annotated, Congress.gov. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects, against unreasonable searches and seizures, shall not be violated, and no. Find law. The Fifth Amendment breaks down into 5 rights or protections. The right to a jury trial when you're charged with a crime, protection against double jeopardy.
Also says guarantee of procedural due process often requires the federal government to provide notice and a hearing before depriving a person of a protected life.
According to Ronald Reagan Library, it gives citizens a series of rights in criminal trials. They include the rights to a fast and public trial by an impartial jury, to be aware of the criminal charges, to confront witnesses during the trial, to have witnesses appear in the trial, and the right to legal representation.
That's number 6.
In Presidential Library, Amendment 7 to the Constitution was ratified on December 15, 1791. It protects the right for citizens to have a jury trial in federal courts with civil cases where the claim exceeds a certain dollar value. And annotated, Congress.gov. 8th Amendment. Cruel and unusual punishment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
9th Amendment is the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage.
No
Not
disparage.
delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people.
That's number 10.
Executed against one of the United States by citizens of another state, or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state.
That's number 11.
According to en.wikipedia.org, the 12th Amendment requires a person to receive a majority of the electoral votes for vice president for that person to be elected vice president by the Electoral College.
That'd go for
13th
state reps
Amendment
too.
to the United States Constitution provides that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction, shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. According to the White House, the First Amendment provides that Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Now you know. There should be no reason why anybody should have to be under a protective name. Isn't that right, Christopher Wray? So you tell me why December 6th, 2021, my daughter had to bear this name in days before that for her own safety. Due to what kind of abuse? You see it right there. Hello? Sean Geyser, why don't you tell everybody what happened? What'd you do to my daughter? Former principal in Island Pond. Well, imagine that. I was reporting him back in 2006 and 2007. He was abusing people then. As I stated earlier, these are pictures, copies of the evidence and reports turned into Christopher Wray. That's right, August 9th, 2023. Christopher Wray, why don't you tell Fox News what you did with all these reports about sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and human trafficking that happened to me and my family?
He said there were about 1,600
Greenland
other cases he had to go through.
Greenland, New Hampshire, Portsmouth, and surrounding areas, I suggest that you tell the public what happened April 7th and what happened at Brentwood Correctional Facility in Brentwood, New Hampshire. So Commissioner Brian, Kate Coyle, or whatever your last name is, I spoke with my attorney yesterday. She's very well aware of everything, and she knows that after this dismissal is signed, I'm on my way to sue you all. Chuck Jenkins, why don't you tell everybody what happened in Frederick County, Frederick, Maryland? The abuse, the sex trafficking, human trafficking, and drug trafficking that led to the beatings of me and my daughter. This right here is fake account made about me. It's been reported. It was reported to Greenland. It was reported to many others, to include local sheriff's department. But you know what? Christopher Wray, if you weren't all involved in the sex trafficking, drug trafficking, human trafficking, this would have all gone away, wouldn't it have? But instead, you'd rather burn me out after my daughter was returned from the hospital after being trafficked in near-dead situation. Isn't that correct? Had to live under a false name of an 83-year-old. So why don't you tell everybody in Anson, Maine, all you fucking predators and pedophiles, to include the murderers. Right, Dale Lancaster? Who else is involved in that? I bet you'll find they're from Norridge Walk, Anson, Madison, Skowhegan, Cornville, and surrounding areas. Think I'm a liar? I'll tell you their fucking names. All you gotta do is ask me. State Fire Marshal asked me who was involved. I told him 2 weeks ago. That's right, August 9th of 2023. I contacted him and told him all the names again that were involved in burning down my home in North Anson, Maine. Told him the story of what happened, and it's all on audio record. So I would suggest that pervert, predator, pedophile that I've known since I was a little girl that lives in Nancy. I suggest you stop following me on social media, dude. This is Chuck Jenkins. Look, Chuck's Mafia. He's supposed to be a sheriff. By the way, he's under federal indictment on gun charges. So why was he over across the border into Pennsylvania from Maryland at a gun show last month? Good question, isn't it? He's not supposed to be around anything like that. I was asked by somebody from the media what happened to the lawsuits. Well, they kept on sending frivolous addresses and such like that. But here's proof, fact, and evidence that they had the correct address and they refused to send it to the proper and the appropriate. And then Montpelier was sending my Social Security paperwork to somebody else. That was a case in itself, wasn't it? And isn't it? Michael Drake, who's your ex from Bellows Falls, you made sure I was very well aware of it on April 7th, 2023. Isn't that right? This was a guy that tried to grab a hold of me in Macon, Georgia. See what happened 2 days later, and look at the black tape across the license plate. He was a sex trafficker, people. And you know what? Well, somebody got him. But he didn't get me. I got away with just a little bit of a black guy. But that's okay, because I'm still here today, and I'm going to tell my fucking story whether you like it or not. Dale Lancaster, Troy Morton, and Christopher Wray, as well as Scott Nichols. And this is where I come from. So fuck you all you low-life fucking scumbags with low IQs out there in Somerset County, Penobscot County. And don't forget, Penobscot County is full of HIV again. So, well, maybe not again. Maybe it's just that they were suppressing the information like they're known to do. If I was you, I wouldn't take any shots, and I wouldn't even be subjected to any of Penobscot County, Maine. Don't go to the hospitals. Don't go anywhere around them. If anybody out in the public's got it, it's probably induced by that COVID shot, don't you think? Maybe that's why they say that sexuality was going to come to a cease after the COVID shot. Thank you, and continue to listen. Watch How's News for you and How's for Justice, as well as this channel here, and you're going to find out everything you need to know and how to file against them. Goodbye.